Ma'am, out in the hallway or I'm going to put you in jail for contempt. Contempt of court, $100.
Ooh, guys, this courtroom hearing takes a wild turn. An elderly defendant with memory problems and a brain damage ends up in a courtroom after stopping a violent family fight involving his wife and sister-in-law. The judge has to sort through absolute chaos to figure out what really happened. The tension builds fast as emotion boils over. Old cases get drugged back up, while the judge tries to balance accountability with common sense. For intense courtroom moments and daily uploads, subscribe to Daily Courtroom Drama. Now let's jump into it.
Yes, Judge.
Have you and Mr. Stocks had a chance to look at the report and recommendation?
I have, Your Honor, and I shared it with Mr. Stocks and his wife, who he gave me permission to share it with via email. It appears to be factually accurate. With regard to the recommendation, Judge, I believe the recommendation is for 12 months probation.
Correct.
I'm asking for 6 months probation. I do believe this was a one-off incident. It's very clear that I don't think Mr. Stocks has any criminal history aside from something from back in 1989, which popped up. This was a familial dispute for which Mr. Stocks was forced to intervene. I would also remind the court that this is a 771.1 deferred sentence agreement. So I think what's appropriate, Judge, would be a 6 months term and come back for review. I have no doubt that Mr. Stocks will comply with any terms and conditions of probation that this court sets.
All right. Counsel, you and I have a different definition of criminal history because Mr. Stocks has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different files out of our court that he owes money on. Some of these might be civil infractions, but I think some of them are misdemeanors too. Granted, they're not felonies, and they're not what most people would consider to be serious stuff. They're all involving animals. So dog at large, unlicensed domestic animals. But the gentleman has a history of not taking care of his business with my building. That's a problem. So deny your request to put it for 6 months. I'll do it for 12. You can always petition the court halfway through if he's been compliant. Anything else?
And Judge, I would just ask, I don't think that batterer's counseling is necessary or warranted, honestly, in this instance. This was not a situation of abuse between domestic partners, as the victim, Teresa Crowder, shared with you. This was really an incident between her and her sister through which Mr. Stocks felt compelled to intervene. So for those reasons, I don't think that that would be warranted as a term and condition of probation.
Well, I got pretty much the whole incident report as part of my pre-sentence investigation report. And there's a gentleman here that's got some anger issues.
Then,
so I don't necessarily think we need a 26-week program, but he needs to address this anger shit.
Understood, Judge. Then I would just ask perhaps that the order of probation could read anger management within the discretion of the probation department. Oh.
I'll go along with that.
Thank you.
I'll go along with that.
Super reasonable, Judge. Being hard when he needs to, understanding that, hey, this doesn't fit the pattern. Let's find a better way to deal with this. Solid dude. I'd vote for him if I lived in his district.
All right.
Can I say something?
Hang on, Mr. Stocks. You do absolutely you absolutely have the right to say something on your own behalf at the time of sentencing. And if you want to make a statement, you can. My advice typically is I don't think a statement's necessary at this point, but you have the absolute right to say something if you wish to. So go ahead and take the floor if you would like.
Good afternoon. She broke my wife's nose. She gave her 2 black eyes and there was blood everywhere. That's the only reason I held her hands.
Okay, but what I read was there a lot more than holding hands.
So I did.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else? All right, I'm going to order 40 hours of community service. Everything you saw is a recommendation. We'll do it for a delayed sentence. So after 12 months, if you do everything you're supposed to, including stay out of trouble, it'll be dismissed. It won't stay on your record as a permanent criminal conviction. Any questions about this file? Counsel?
No, Your Honor, no questions.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Stocks, you owe us $3,816 on all these other files. I don't see that you've ever made a payment on any of them.
I'm familiar with it.
So you're telling me somebody else named Fred Allen Stocks has come in here with these 14 files?
It's my nephew's dog.
But it's his charge, and I didn't ask you to talk.
Judge, if I may intervene, there's also, just for what it's worth, Mr. Stocks does suffer with some short-term memory loss, which was also the basis for the no contest plea in our case. So I just wanted the court to be aware. I'm anticipating that his wife, Lisa, is the woman who just spoke out in the courtroom. She often does speak on his behalf, particularly as it pertains to his memory issues. So she might be able to shed more light on that. But I don't want the court to think he's being insincere when he says, I don't know what you're talking about. This has been my experience
Fair
over
enough.
the last several months.
Fair enough. Okay. So, Mr. Stocks, I've got files going back to 2023. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different files from 2024. And every one of them, you came in here and can you tell me if any of these were defaulted civil infractions? They're all civil infractions? Yeah, so these are all civil infractions, which technically is just like a speeding ticket. If you get a speeding ticket or any other civil infraction and you don't contact the court, you get in default and you owe money. And you owe $3,800. And we've been scheduling hearings and you're not showing up. We can't help you if you're not here.
Well,
Ma'am, out in the hallway or I'm gonna put you in jail for contempt. Contempt of court, $100. You want to pay the $100 or you want to go to jail? I've asked you a question, you can talk now. All right, go downstairs and make arrangements. We'll send your husband down when I'm done with him.
I do have brain damage.
Okay. But you still gotta take care of your tickets. You know, if you come in to see us, 2023, when you get the tickets, if you come in to see us, we put you in contact with prosecutors, they work out deals, but when we don't hear from people, the system just takes off on its own. So how do we resolve these files?
Your
How's your
Honor,
health? Hold on, counsel. How's your health? Can you do charity work?
I guess.
Like volunteer at a church or something like that? Counsel, I'm willing to give him a review date if you want to try to work out some kind of plan, because I'll close files out for charity work. But I gotta get these files closed.
Understood, Judge. And my thought would also be a payment plan. I don't know. Mr. Stocks and I spoke about that last time. Mr. Stocks, do you think you might be able to make a payment of $50 a month or $100 a month, something to that effect towards this outstanding balance?
Yes, I can do laundry.
Let me ask you this. If you call in all your markers, can you come up with $1,000?
Yes.
When?
Today if I have to.
Today? You bring $1,000 today or tomorrow by 3. Tomorrow by 3, and I'll close all those files out. I'll waive $2,800.
Appreciate it. I will pay it.
All right.
And Mr.
Tomorrow by
Stocks,
3.
if you get 800 or 700, please call me because I'm sure we can work something else out with the court.
No, you can't. No, you can't. This is a one-time deal. If I'm going to discount it that much, I want my money so I can close all these files and be done with them.
Understood, Judge.
Yep. I'll put him on a payment plan and get the full 38. But if he wants this kind of a deal, I gotta close these files tomorrow. All right. On today's file, did I give him fines and costs on today's file? I don't think I got to that yet.
I don't believe so. I haven't heard yet on the misdemeanor sentencing.
Before we get into that, that's actually a really cool way to take care of the other tickets. First off, I didn't know that they could excuse paying a financial restitution for community service. That's really cool. I also think the judge is really cool for cutting this guy a deal, knowing that he's got some problems he's got to deal with. Let's get back to it.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order the restitution, which was $329, and I'm going to order the oversight fees, but I'm not going to put any fines or court costs on it.
Thank you, Judge.
That's a separate file that you can put a payment plan on that one. The $3,800 goes away if you bring us $1,000. We clear? All right. Do you want me to write all that down?
Fine, if it ain't no problem.
Can you write that down? Here, do it right on this. Do it right on that. All right, counsel, I'm sure you were taking notes.
I've got it, Judge.
Okay, so we're gonna give him a piece of paper that says the $3,800 is settled for $1,000 between now and 3 p.m. And that today's money, he can set up a payment plan, $50 a month or whatever he can swing.
Understood.
You got it?
How much was today's?
$329.
No, it was because I got oversight fee. No, I'm not charging. I'm not gonna charge because we're not gonna do a reporting probation. So it's $329. I'm not gonna put you on a reporting probation. You stay out of trouble. You get the anger management stuff that satisfies her. So do all the boots on the ground stuff and no new charges. And then you don't have to deal with probation at all. Clear, counsel?
Crystal, Judge.
Whew. Man, that judge was awesome. Was being very hard, realized the circumstances, decided, hey, I don't need to be this hard on this gentleman. Let's back it off, but let's also make sure that he understands actions do have consequences. For more drama like this, make sure to like and subscribe to Daily Courtroom Drama, where we upload twice a day, and I'll see you on the next one.